How could he know me? How could one so awesome ever care so much for me? How could he love man enough to redeem man? How could he sacrifice his only son to set me free? That's just the way the Father is. He'll be your friend when you're not his. That's just his way. That's just the way he is. He's nothing like your other friends. He'll be with you until the end. That's just his way. That's just the way. Why did he choose me? And why does he use me? How could he put his trust in me to carry out his will? And how could he love me, knowing all he knows about me? How could he look beyond my faults and find success in me? That's just the way the Father is.
Hooked up to a life support system saying, let me give you oxygen. That may not be a good analogy, but you get the picture, you get the point. Here you are all messed up and talking about, let me help you. That's like me coming in here with sour garments on, having bathed in a month, having shaven, I'm offensive, and I come to you and say, no, this is how you dress. I wish I had a witness up in here. This is like me not managing what God gives me. Lord have mercy, doing the wrong thing. Lord have mercy, making all kind of bad. Then I'm going to walk in here and be a teacher among you and tell you how to raise your son, and I haven't seen mine in 20 years. How sayest thou, let me pull the mote out of your eye when I haven't even considered the beam that is in your own eye? And Jesus, not often, but here he speaks harsh. Here he speaks with strong language. He said, thou hypocrite. He said, you cartoon. He said, you artificial diamond. He said, you fictitious character. You play acting. You hypocrite. How can you begin to bring correction to others when you're not open for correction in your own life? How dare we muster the authority to get up and want to be teachers among men and women and have not mastered the principle of becoming a student ourselves and have the principle of submission to be operative in our own life? How can I lead if I'm not willing to be led? He says, you hypocrite. How you get up here and do what you do, and then when the benediction is over, you go back to business as usual. He says, first, take the beam out. That qualifies you now to consider taking the mote out of somebody else's life. I'm going to say something here, and I hope you get this. I hope you get this. Most of ministry is not you working on nobody else. Most of you improving your marital status is not you working on your mate. Most of your parenting skills ain't you looking on your children and giving dictation to them. Most of life, what you got to do is work on yourself. Preach, Bobby Hicks. I believe I will. I believe I will. That's what get us in the quagmire that we're in, because we're always observing the imperfections that is in somebody else's life and never taking into account the own imperfections that is in our own life. The songwriter is right. It's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's not my mother, it's not my father, it's not my sister, it's not my brother, but it's me. It's up to me to be happy. It's up to me to be complete. It's up to me to want to live and not die. It's up to me to serve God. It's up to me. And here is what we go through. We go through this because this is a relationship. This is a relationship piece. These verses teaches us how to be relational. It teaches us the first principle in this, my brothers and sisters, is that you got to take into account that there's a form of blindness when you're following somebody who don't know where they're going. And here's the point I want to talk to you. We ought to have admiration for one another, but while we're admiring one another, we better examine one another. Because some of us fall into blind leadership because we're awestruck by their abilities and their skill sets, and because they got articulation of speech, and because they got some experiences. But even though that's part of the equation of following someone who's promising, Lord have mercy, and fruitful, you also need to examine their life. You got people that will send you false documents. Ask those people from New York. When this man took $50 billion from them and sent them false documents. Because you get with somebody who you think is a winner, don't necessarily make you a winner. You need to start making your own mind up how to control your own environment and making some decisions yourself. You don't come up in this church and put faith in a Bobby Hicks because he's fallible and he's cut from the same stuff that you're cut from, and I'm subject to fall. But if you're going to put your faith in somebody, it ought to be Jesus Christ. Preach, Bobby Hicks. I believe I will. I believe I will. This is why we fall into the ditch. Because you following some man, some woman, because they got popularity attached to them. Have you examined? Because I'm here to tell you, you got some people that will stand before you and shine and look clean and look good and look promising. Behind closed doors, they are wreck. Behind closed doors, they're alcoholics, they're addicts. They involved with sexual sordid sins. They got no control over their life. They're a man and they're a woman. Oh, I wish I had some help up in here. Lord have mercy. Wrestling with their own personhood. Most of ministry is you working on you. Scrub yourself. Stop trying to scrub somebody else. Fix up yourself. Stop trying to fix somebody else up. And in the process of you working on you, God will let somebody look at you working on you, and they'll be inspired to work on them. You're on the case, man. You're on the case. Y'all got a few extra minutes? These are blind spots. Tap somebody and say, these are blind spots. Tell you what they look like. Let me tell you what they look like. I just stated it in one aspect, that blind spots are when you fixing up others, not fixing up yourself. I don't mean no harm. That's like a carpenter working on somebody else's house and his is a shack. That's like a beautician, got everybody else's hair looking good and hers is whack. That's like a dentist fixing everybody's teeth and he got only 2 and they spread apart. You got to work on you. Telling everybody how to eat right and you just as wide as you are tall. Come on, talk back to me. You walk 3 flights of steps. Work on you.